Alright, let me explain what I'm doing here. Let's talk about glazing, what that is and why you need to remove it. Okay, glazing is caused by friction and heat. It's from when the clutch disc is pressed against the flywheel. It's friction and heat there. What makes your car go, right? And that friction and heat causes that flywheel to get glazed over. It gets real shiny and real slick over time. Okay, and if you put a new clutch pad in there, it's not gonna grab like it should because that glazing is real slick and it doesn't want to grab it. It's kind of like doing your brakes. If any of y'all do your own brake jobs, your flywheel, or not your flywheel, your brake rotors, a lot of times, you'll take them down and have them turned, and they'll cut 1 or 2 thousandths off of them to make them rough again, so they grab better and get better friction. So it's the same on the flywheel. I mean, you could pull the flywheel off and take it down to a machine shop and have them take 1,000 or 2 off of it and make it rough again. But I don't want to do that. I just want to throw this thing back together as quick as possible. So I'm fixing to show you a sure enough cool trick though that I just figured out. Let me move the camera. Okay, let me show you something I figured out. I went to 220 sandpaper because that 400 just wasn't hitting it. It's a little bit rougher, but not too bad. Take your piece of sandpaper. Take your old clutch disc, like that, and then mark around it. Come in here and make some little marks. Okay. Then you connect your dots. Kind of like that. Then you cut that out with scissors, right? Cut the inside out, cut the outside out. Then you got you an abrasive pad. I've already done this. And you take your old clutch disc, and what I used was just some carpet headliner and carpet adhesive. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. But this is you just spray this on one side, you spray it on the clutch disc, and you spray it on the back of the sandpaper. You let it dry for 5 minutes and you press it together and it sticks on there pretty good. Okay. Then let me move you back over here now. You take your clutch alignment tool and your old clutch disc, stick that through there, get that right into the pilot bushing there, and you just work it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like that. And it takes a while. I've been at it for quite a little while here off camera, but that holds that sandpaper up against the flywheel. This little tool here, you have got to have this when you change a clutch, okay? You've got to have it. This aligns your clutch and centers your clutch. Without this, you'll never get your motor back in your car. My clutch kit came with this little needle bearing bushing. This right here goes inside this gland nut right here. Okay, and to change that out, you got to pull this gland nut off. And when you do, be careful because your flywheel will fall off. But also, this has got a bunch of torque on it, like 220, 230 foot-pounds. I can't remember exactly. You need to check your manual for your Pacific car. And you have to have this flywheel lock to get that off. Also, you wouldn't want to do it up on a stand like I got it here. You want to be down on the ground because that's a lot of torque to break loose. This is a 36 millimeter. This gland nut, I think it's 36. It's the same size as the axle nuts, the rear axle nut. So if you have to change this, you got to pull that gland nut off and press this little needle bearing out, and then press the new one in. Or you can just buy a new gland nut and change the gland nut. Is the easiest way to do it if it's wore out. But I just changed this one not too long ago, so I know it's still good. So we're going to use the one that's in it. Remember that special high performance grease that they sent with us with our kit? You want to put a little bit right inside that needle bearing. Not going to hurt a thing. Stick it right in there. Lubricate them needle bearings a little bit more. Maybe put a little bit more in there. I'm just sticking it on the end of my little finger. Stick it in there and rolling it around. Like that. Now I got grease on my little finger. Alright. Back to the clutch and pressure plate. Clutch and pressure plate. We've got our alignment tool stuck in there. And we stick that alignment tool right in that pilot bearing. Just like that. Stick some bolts in it. Around pressure plate into the flywheel. Okay, we're just going to run them all up snug by hand. Alright, now comes the important part. You want to pull these up slow. Alternate back and forth. About one turn at a time. Pull it in slow. Slow and even. We'll make sure it's even, because if you don't, you'll end up bending these springs right here, and we don't want that to happen. about a half a turn or turn a piece till she gets up tight. Sorry if my fat head got in the way. Just keep working around it a little bit at a time. Forward and slow. Push the bottoms out. And I don't remember right offhand what the torque is on these, but I'm going to check and I'll get back with you in a minute.